Look, we need to take it carefully because you can't increase the number of merchants a lot before you have the community. We have Bitcoiners living there and also locals that are Bitcoiners using sats every day. We have businesses using the sats they make to buy, to purchase from other businesses, so a true circular economy.
Welcome to the Order Moon Show, if you're watching, and welcome to Andre Loja. Loja, I've got it right. Absolute legend, Andre. If you don't know Andre, well, you tell everyone what you get up to.
So my name is Andre, I'm the founder of Free Madeira, which is a Bitcoin adoption and education circular economy in Madeira Island, Portugal, for those who don't know. Madeira is amazing. Visit, by the way. It's amazing for a vacation. And we started the circular economy in Madeira. We did a big conference, and we're working a lot on education and adoption of Bitcoin in the island and on the overall region. We know Bitcoin touches everything, so we go from workshops to my first Bitcoin translations, book translations, energy summits. We were really keen on increasing the awareness of what Bitcoin mining can do for the energy grid in Portugal and Madeira, and about to do a Bitcoin business hub in downtown Funchal. So.
Wow, so a lot going on. So I'd like to unpick one thing you said there particularly, because this show is for anybody interested in setting up a Bitcoin circular economy or already has one, and we're trying to find tips from our guests and impart some of our own thoughts as well. And we know it's not easy setting up it's a Bitcoin circular economy, and it's also not that easy to keep it going. But I'm very interested to hear to what level you've got things in Madeira in terms of the merchants. So when I say merchants, obviously the people you see, the venues. How are you bringing people on board, and how much is being spent? Any idea? I know it's hard to say because you don't know for sure.
There's no real metrics on that, especially on the amount of sats that it's being circulated around. And you've touched something interesting, because it's really hard to keep it going. Starting is more easy, actually. And we were very careful on that in the beginning. I can give you an example. We have Charlie, that I think you met. Charlie is the first employee of Free Madeira, if you put it that way. He's just a collaborator, very excited to work with us. A Bitcoiner, of course, and he works on the merchant adoption. And at the beginning, I remember saying to Charlie, look, we need to take it carefully, because you can't increase the number of merchants a lot before you have the community.
Because they get rather frustrated, nobody's really spending sats with them, don't they?
Of course, I said I gave that example. So it's a chicken and an egg problem, and they actually need to grow by par. We need to work a lot on the community first, increase the community, increase the awareness, get people really using, sats on Lightning every day to make the merchant adoption strategy work. So in the beginning, we were not that aggressive on getting merchants on board. We waited a bit. We were patient, especially after the conference, of course, and the splash that the conference made in Funchal and in Madeira overall. And then when we started seeing movement on the community, we started growing the merchant base. And now it's working very well, because now they reinforce each other, actually. Because we have over 160 merchants all over the island now accepting Bitcoin. We have Bitcoiners living there and also locals that are Bitcoiners using sats every day. We have businesses using the sats they make to purchase from other businesses, so a true circular economy. And now the thing reinforces itself to a point that it's more attractive to Bitcoiners to come, because there's a true Bitcoin standard economy there, and the merchants are interested in getting on board because there's more customers. So it's kind of a flywheel of interest.
So you started with the community to get them enthusiastic.
Yes, I think it's the main point, because without a community there will be no regular payments. Imagine you have someone brings you a POS. It's nice, it's this and that, but if you don't see any payments there, it's just going to get dusty and disconnected from the grid, right? So you do have to work on the community first.
And what about the hodl mentality? Even within a community, people can be reluctant to spend and replace sats, and maybe capital gains tax worries on these small amounts, I'm not sure, but do you get any pushback? What do people say in that respect?
There's very common pushback on that narrative.
Yes.
We try to make people understand that doesn't make any sense, because okay, we all agree that I save my money in Bitcoin, of course, because I think it's a better money, it's non-debasable, and so forth. But the narrative of not spending the sat, spending the fiat, doesn't make any sense in my head, because if you spend the fiat, there's an opportunity cost as well. You're not buying Bitcoin with that money, so it's actually the same thing.
Yes.
So you do have to spend and replace, in my view. You reinforce the community, you reinforce the grid, you're working on behalf of Bitcoin, like we all do. It's an open source network, and the more we use it, the better for everyone that is on board, right? Because as any connected network, the more nodes on the network and the more movement, everybody wins. So I think that's what people have to think. And of course, sometimes it's hard to do spend and replace, because you spend it and then you need to worry about buying it again and replacing it. And actually, because of that, there's another project incoming from Free Madeira. It's not ready yet, but we are developing a wallet for spend and replace automatically, which I think it makes a very big difference. So you go to a merchant, you spend some sats, and it automatically replenishes the wallet again with sats.
Fantastic. I love that. And it actually builds upon something I first used in a very basic way that actually Revolut did, is that when you spent, you could 10x, and still can, 10x the change.
Oh, yeah.
And it converted that into Bitcoin.
Yes.
And it's actually very powerful.
Actually, we have designed a lever for that app, so you can be a psychopath, as true Bitcoiners are, and you could put like 5x, and every time you spend 10 euros on a meal, it will buy 50 euros of Bitcoin back to the wallet, which in a way it's a way to DCA by spending.
Yeah, I love it. I love the idea of spending and saving at the same time. Yeah, it's absolutely epic.
Almost there. We're still having some issues with the development of the app, but it's coming.
It'll come, I'm sure.
It was a way to scratch our own itch.
Yes.
We were doing what we wanted for the wallet for our community. But I think it will resonate with a lot of people.
Okay, so how about the general population? So they're not Bitcoiners particularly. They're not people who've come to the island. They're maybe not really digital nomads. They're just the regular people living on Madeira. How about, you mentioned some education you've done with them and an awareness. How's that working? Are you getting people to really interested in saving and spending in Bitcoin?
It's a slow process.
Yes.
We need to be very patient with people who don't know anything about Bitcoin and the technology. A lot of people come to us, because of number go up. It's just the way it is. So you have to be patient, but fortunately we've been having a lot of traction on the education courses, on the workshops. I can give you an example. So we translated the Mi Primeiro Bitcoin, my first Bitcoin diploma, to Portuguese now, which we call the manual, the Bitcoin manual. And we started doing a 10-week course for the locals, and I was surprised to have 50 people enrolled. So they're all coming on a 10-week course with practical and theoretical, lectures. And also we now have a meeting that it was promised by the government, but government promises are also sometimes hard to to come by. But supposedly they agreed to put the manual as an optional PDF on the students, or on the tablets of all students of Madeira. So that's coming as well. But yeah, you need to be slow and steady. We feel that it works a lot on the business. On the business side of things.
Orange pill business owners, and they orange pill other businesses.
Yes, it comes quickly. People see it. They see an increase of customers, which also, of course, they want. They see a decrease on the fees they pay, and they can use the money not only for tips for the employees, but also to increase the circular economy. So a lot of them are purchasing other, how do you call it, stock from other people that they need for their business. So that part is working really well.
Very cool. Well, we've maybe got a tip we can give if you're running a circular economy. Something that we have is restaurant services. And one thing that we trialled and worked very well is to give Bitcoin tip to drivers who got 5-star ratings. We were talking about ratings earlier, weren't we?
Yeah.
Well, you turn it around and reward staff their sats for doing a great job. So that's something to think about. If you're running a circular economy, use that. Because once people get a few sats, the idea is they get that collector's mindset, isn't it?
Sure. That's a great way. And actually, one of the things that just before I came, we had a Bitcoiner in Madeira visiting before coming to Lugano, and we went to a restaurant that, of course, one of the ones that accepts Bitcoin, and we were having lunch there. And when he paid in Bitcoin, he also wanted to tip the employee, and she didn't have a wallet. And that made me think that's the case for most of the businesses that accept Bitcoin. The waiters themselves don't have a way to accept Bitcoin on the tipping side of the equation. We need to solve that. We need to solve that somehow. Because if there's a business owner, there's usually a lot more employees, and let's multiply that effect for the employees as well. So we need to figure out a way to do that.
To get the tips into the hands. Okay, well, we're going to wrap this up. We've got a busy conference here. We're doing this at BTC Balkans here in Sofia, Bulgaria. Is it your first time in Bulgaria? No, is it? Yes, it is your first time.
My first time in Bulgaria. I didn't know Sofia at all. I didn't know any part of Bulgaria. So it was, very happy to be invited, and it's looking great.
Okay, well, I'll invite you to join me for some beers later on. How about that?
Invitation accepted.
Excellent. Thank you, Andre. Really appreciate your time. And
Thank you.
Thank you.